Alchemist. It's Abundance Thursdays with myself, Gualter Amarelo, and the great Vinney Smile Chopra. Vinney, you're in the backyard, so finally
Yeah,
California's got some good weather for you.
lovely weather, brother. I love it. I love it. Summer has started. We say it's a little late, but that's so what, and the temperature is going to be fantastic. Almost 74 degrees, and then 78 the highest, and then down to evening time about 60 or something. Yeah, yeah. So love my backyard. It's just amazing. Yeah.
So today, for those of you who have never been to an Abundance Thursdays, don't know what we do here, me and Vinny go through one of the 52 wealth principles. Today is wealth principle 31. We're
Yeah.
attacking the principle of in sales, go for no. Now, Vinny, if you don't know, is a billionaire with management, under management. So at his peak, $1.6 billion, but now with partners, $2.5 billion between you and your partners all collectively. So it's not his
Yes.
net worth, and he likes to say that, but he's
Not
acquired more
net
real
worth.
estate than most people, and it didn't start from like a rich family. He started from having
Mm.
nothing. So today's principle really is how Vinny started in the game, sales. So Vinny, you sent me notes. You sent me notes. There's seven tips or seven
I
concepts.
love number seven. Seven number is my luckiest number. I came to USA, Gualter, as you know, and everybody watching us with $7. That's all I had in my pocket. And I broke actually, I think $5 bill or whatever to buy. Oh wow, I love those balloons coming through here, in LaGuardia Airport to drink a Coke, I remember.
Wow, it must have been scary, right? To break the five for just a Coca-Cola, just like a drink. So number one, you said no's lead to yeses. What does that mean? What does it mean when you say no's lead to yeses?
Oh my gosh. I mean, see, the thing is, you cannot close everybody. Every prospect, every lead is asking to give more information and more information and more information. Something peaked and they click the button. Like I have 362 leads now for my academy where they saw my ad to buy it for 997. And guess what? They want to get more information from me and my team. Why? What value will I bring? So that's why it's good to really go with the open mindset in every meeting. Make it short because if it's a cold lead, you want to be very sincere and open and try to find out where they're leading you to and then look forward to getting a no. Why not? Because no is not a rejection. It's just that at this time, I don't want to get happily involved with you like Tom Hopkins. I learned so much from Tom Hopkins, Brother Hopkins, how to master the art of selling anything. Still a wonderful book. And I met him and had lunch with him. We flew him into my company over there in Florida. We were meeting, I remember many years back. Anyway, Tom Hopkins, amazing guy. The key thing is you got to learn to love no's because if you are making 100,000, 500,000 a year and you get, let's see, 200 no's and out of that maybe 20 yeses, you combine the two, 200 no's plus 20 yeses, that's 220 total. Now you divide that 500,000 income by 220. Guess what? Every no has the same value as yes.
So I gotta say something, Vinny, because you're now telling me that no's are good, and I
Yes.
have grown up with no's being bad, right? My whole life
No.
thinking average entrepreneur, no is terrible to hear. It's painful, it's frustrating, it's scary. In fact, before, and this is the average person, and I think even great salespeople still feel this, before they've even picked up the phone, they're already afraid of a no. Most people, I think, when they get into sales, are afraid of that no, afraid of the rejection. How do you look at this and say, okay, no's lead to yeses? Logically, we
Ah,
just created that. Uh, part two,
that's a
you
death.
said,
That's a death. I call it death or demise. I mean, if your mind is not right and you're already expecting a no and feeling bad that, after this meeting, I'm going to feel bad and I'm going to go into a spiral down and I'm going to just take off rest of the day. That's the wrong attitude. We need to be prepared ourselves with every objection. Objections need to be covered upfront. We always say that, right? So by getting no's, we should get better and better and better to find out. I call it as the closing cycle, closing like gates. There are like seven gates. You get to know the person, you find out what they have been, what they want, who is the decision maker, and then you say procrastination is a huge part in the no, and then closing. So you got to change, have your whole uh, presentation or talking. I love to do Zooms. I don't like to talk on the phone because that way I can feel their eyes, their emotions, and see, and they see me and everything. I even record most of my presentations with my investors are recorded on Zoom. And I say, is it okay? Can I ask you to get your permission to record it? Because you may like to show it to your dean, your brother, your sister, your spouse who's not here, and to your pastor, anybody. Because what I'm presenting in my PowerPoint presentation and what I'm saying, it will be lost. 40% will be lost by the time I finish with them, and 67% will be lost after 1 hour.
Right.
So
So Vinny,
we need to be, yeah, no, go ahead. Go
you
ahead.
put down the nose drive activity. Nose seem
Yeah.
like they end the business. Like, how do nose drive activity?
Oh, hold on. See, if you give only two presentations a day and you are dying to close one of them, that's a wrong thing. You got to have more presentations. You got to be always feeding from the bottom so that you have respectable number of good leads, I call it, or good appointments every day. Every day. That's the best time we can spend is in front of people, talking to people, and those people who are really willing to find out what your services are. But if you're throwing, you know, things on the wall and hope and pray that these leads are good, then we are doing something wrong. We need to tweak and get better leads, people who will be happily involved in your services, and you are solving problems for them. Solving problems. The other part is everybody can't say yes right away. So you do kind of set the stage, but then follow up is so important. Giving them the presentation is one thing, but follow up. Many times you close people at the third follow up.
Yeah.
So it's
Sometimes
always
it's the 33rd follow-up. Sometimes
yeah, yeah,
it's a
exactly,
lot for
exactly.
some people.
The bigger ticket items where
Right.
you're making 100,000 commission or 200, 500,000, it takes a longer process. But if it's a small ticket, you know, I remember I used to say that, it's going to be so easy because I'm going to share with you everything about my services, and it'll be so easy for you to make a decision today. It's not like buying a home or a wedding spouse, choosing a spouse like that. It's just going to be very easy and I'll answer all your questions. So set the stage. The only thing I asked you, Gualter, is to please just, we'll still be friends. If you don't like the program, then you could say no today. Don't say maybe. This is what I learned. I learned this 40 years back. You never say, get a maybe, but you say it'll be so easy to say yes or no once, go over the presentation.
That's fantastic. Setting the context that the decision is going to be made today, and that's what we're committed
Mhm.
to getting done. So, redefining direction, rejection. You said that you had to redefine rejection itself, which is the no itself.
See,
How do you
it's
turn
not
it?
a personal, it's not a personal rejection. See, that's the problem. I think, our mind says, oh, that person didn't like me when they said no. No, 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 no. It's not personal at all. It's the business decision they are making. And it's something they want to know more about your services. And you need to provide to them all the different things they need, right? And then even after everything they say no, maybe it's not the right time. I've had investors who met me a year back, 2 years back. They call me and they say, Vinny, hey, we are ready now. You know, so you never leave any prospect in despair. You always think. and set the stage of positivity so that they could even refer you to other people. If they rejected you, they didn't close with you, they may be so happy what you covered in that PowerPoint presentation or the Zoom meeting. You'll send a link to them. They will pass on to their 10 good friends. I'm telling you.
So you can reframe it. So you can reframe rejection.
Yeah.
You can shift it. It's not
Yes.
rejection. It's actually a good thing, or it's just a state of mind, a state of existence. How do you celebrate
Yes.
rejection? How do you get to the point where you see it as a good thing, like you're actually thankful for each no, every rejection?
See, I used to sell Bibles and encyclopedias. Some people know me when I came from India and I was going to earn tuition for my George Washington University. I never take loans back then. Nobody will give me loans. Anyway, the key thing was when I called on 30 knocking on doors, we used to do 60 knocking on doors maybe, and try to give 20 to 30 demonstrations. What a day, 13 hours a day. 13 hours a day. So the key thing was we were hustling door to door, young students, right? I was in the university, cutoffs, shorts in the summer months. The key thing was positive mindset. It's so, so important in sales. You cannot get negative because you've got to have several appointments. If we don't have appointments on the calendar, it's our fault. We need to get VAs, we need to do outreach, we need to do advertising, all those things, right? But then have abundance of appointments. If it's a very big ticket item, you may say, Vinny, hey, we're not going to have 200 appointments, but then you prepare your whole presentation and proposal in a way that you are able to cover objections that, prospects have and so on. But you got to love the no's as much as the yeses.
I
See,
like it.
that's the thing. Just like I said when I started this presentation, if you have 200 no's and 20 yeses, in a year, I'm just saying it's a pretty big, number, 220, and you make average income of 500,000 in a year in sales profession, you divide 500 by 220. So each yes and each no has the same value. That's what I'm trying to communicate. And if you say that, even after the no, you say, hey, one down. I just earned this much money in my pocket.
This is good. I can see this, and I've read the book Go for No before, and like you're bringing a lot of it back to me now. It is, if I count my no's and my yeses as money made, everything leads
Yes,
towards it. I found that even when I'm out speaking and people are like not feeling my message, I'm like, hey, you can leave. Like I'm only here for the players who really want to get to that next level,
totally,
and
totally, totally.
it's made it easier for them because they were already like, oh, cool, like an opportunity for me to leave. And for everybody else, like, okay, you guys can come closer now. You can all move forward and we can have this conversation. So,
Love it, love it. What you did there is those people who are open minded and they're there for a purpose to grab your, the theme of what you're covering and they want to get better. There are a lot of naysayers in this world. And you got to really look at it. If somebody does not decide after knowing everything and it's good for them, it's their fault,
right,
not ours fault. That's how I look at it. Hey, it's your loss, not mine, that you did not, agree because whatever, whatever, right? Everybody's got their own risks, profiles, everything. So you got to just go into a presentation with the hopefulness and everything that a yes will be there. But if not, after trying everything, trial closes. That's the other one.
trial
Trial
close.
closes. Oh my gosh, how many of us go through 30 minutes, never ask, hey, how does it sound? Can you
Right.
see the purpose behind it? Do you see why we do this? So you got to put trial clauses during your presentation. I'm
That's
telling you, I mean, if you have problem, trial clauses you put in the PowerPoint presentation. Say, by the way, let's take a little pause and let me ask you, does it make sense what I covered so far? Do you have any questions? I mean, the thing is, you got to gauge it's the minor yeses that lead to the end result of a big yes.
Trial
It's
closes. It's
trial
actually five, right?
closes.
Number five you sent me was make attempts, not sales. So
Yes.
that's
Yes.
basically the trial close, what you're saying.
Yep.
So
Totally. I
yeah,
mean, it's a blah. I mean, if you are not getting your prospect with you, understanding what you're saying, there is a fault of ours. Our fault is there. But if they are understanding and they say, oh, yeah, that makes sense, the tax ramifications, the, assumptions, and this in my case, right? And then how we do totally present the whole model, it just has to make sense. It's Purchasing is emotional and logical. Remember that. But you got to hit the emotion part and the logical nature of it. Not everybody will just say yes right away. Of course, the high drivers, they are short. They say, hey, give me the real deal. What's this? What's that? They are ready to close. Guess what? A lot of us want to go over the whole thing. Darn it, you lost them.
yep,
They were ready to close. We didn't close them then. And then we want to go through the rattling of the rest of the presentation. Who cares?
not
Who
interested.
cares? I mean, if you have 26 slides and you're finding out, don't go from A to 26, you go in between. I know my PowerPoint presentation used to be 37 page slides for investors. Then in my academy, we designed 11 slides. We said, you know what? What's important for the entrepreneurs who have less time, doctors and entrepreneurs and IT professionals, they have so little time and they're logical. They are there for a purpose. So what is important to them, instead of going over the fluff of 31 slides, we narrowed it down to 11.
What information do they need to make the decision? So six
That's,
is pursue rejection. When you
oh,
say pursue rejection, you're basically saying go after the nose, like look for the nose. What does that mean?
exactly.
I've heard of like
Well,
disqualifying leads. I've heard of uh like disqualifying questions, but what does it mean to pursue rejection? Like how do you
I think it's the mindset. I think it's, again, pursue knows means expect knows in my thinking. Hey, if we go into this meeting at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11, 12, whatever, then expect either it's a yes or a no. But don't just hit the wall if you get a no. That's what it is. So pursue it to make, every meeting going positive, but not everything works that way.
right,
Law of averages work only if you keep on right perspective, positivity, you're covering everything. If you get a no, how many people really go for an hour kicking the cat and kicking this and cans and everything? The key thing is to really say, hey, you know what? That person, maybe I didn't cover things, I could have improved on it. Let's find out that. The other part is to follow up and just say, hey, I'm so sorry. I thought I covered everything, but seems like there were some things that I could not address. Would you mind? Because it will really help me to tailor, my next presentation, what I need to cover. See, be vulnerable, really, because
yeah,
people want to help other people. They will
yeah.
let you know, hey, you are too exertive, you're this, you're that. Take it constructively, take it constructively, because the ultimate goal is to get lots of people who need our services happily involved.
That
That's
is
the key.
that is the truth. Can we get as much feedback as possible from our
Hmm,
customers? Pursuing
totally,
rejection is actually a way for us to get
totally,
information. I like it.
totally.
Number seven, your favorite.
Yes.
No's are not failures. How do we
Hmm.
reframe that? How do we reframe? I told my wife I was going to go out, I was going to make money today. I come home, I all I heard was no all day. How do we reframe that?
You know what? See, the thing is past. I mean, the thing is, if I gave a presentation for 22 minutes and I didn't get a yes, I got to just leave it there. what I did was my best, my personal best, and I'm happy with it. See, you got to be happy when you do your best. Now, I'm not saying if you keep on getting no's, a day could go by and nothing happens. Everything hits the ceiling. It's gone. It's gone. The more we spend time in the ashes, like I say that, the more, ashes metaphorically, our black suit, right? How many of us would like to get that ashes, put hands, and then put all over us? We'll be in a different frame of mind. We'll be in rejection. We'll be downward. We'll be feeling so pity, self pity on us. It's the self confidence, it's the self image we need to keep at this level, even though we get a no or a yes. See, don't get utterly depressed when you get a no, and don't get overly excited when you get a yes.
That I think is, man, that's so deep. Don't get overly excited when you get a yes. We should celebrate no's more often. In fact, I think in the mastermind we're going to start doing that. In fact, this week, I think that's going
Yeah,
to be part of what we talk about is, hey, you know what? How many rejected offers did you get? You submitted offers, awesome.
totally.
How many rejected offers? And let's start celebrating some of that. Vinny, it is
You- Can I
12:30
say something?
PST.
Can I say
Yeah, of
something? One last thing. Maybe,
course.
please put a one sheet of paper, and for the week, how many presentations you're going to give, and you write down no's like 30 times. Let's do that as an example. And then as you get a no, you cross off, go down, down, down. And then when you get a yes, cross that no and make a yes. So look for the no's, the yeses will come. I promise you. It has happened in my life. And successful people always try to keep their level up here, because you cannot go down. With every no you go down, you go deeper, 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 deeper. It's hard to come out of the well then, but you got to just be as even Knievel, and then working on yourself. You got to find out why people are not really purchasing my service. What are things that I'm doing wrong? You know, is it my speech? It's my, talking to them. It's like, whatever, right? There are lots of different reasons. I mean, we could do a whole segment on that.
I think, yeah, sales and negotiations is its own thing. I think we're going to do a lot more of that this year at the summit. So the business and real estate summit is
Yes.
coming up this year.
Mhm.
Orlando, October 18th to the 20th. Vinney Chopra will be there.
Yes.
He's been doing a lot in the residential assisted living, senior assisted living. His new book just came out. It's all about how to get into a senior assisted livings. And if you haven't already gotten the book, there is going to be a talk at the summit that's all about senior
Mhm.
assisted living, why the silver tsunami is so important for us to get
Yes.
educated
Yes.
on, why working with baby boomers, working with the
I
elderly, and
can't
helping
wait.
them.
I can't wait. That's going to be fantastic. Positive mindset, syndication, pooling money together. And the third chapter is going to be RALs and assisted livings. That's the road for next 40 years. 40 years. I mean, everybody should really get into it because it's a biggest tsunami, silver tsunami is hitting America and the world. Yeah.
And it is the greatest wealth transfer of all time is going to be transferred
Yes.
by the silver tsunami. So
Yeah.
we do this every Thursday, Abundance Thursdays, 9 a.m. PST, 12 p.m.
Mhm.
EST. The summit is coming up, so get your tickets. Cheers to your
Yeah.
success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. We will see you next Thursday.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Look at that celebration.
Look at this. Look at this here, brother.